Welcome to the Effortless English Show. Hi, this is AJ. Talking to you from Osaka, Japan. What is the best way to learn English? The best way. What is the fastest way to learn English? How do you get the best results? That's the topic today on the Effortless English Show. Speak English powerfully and confidently. Speak with a perfect American accent. Get both my Power English course for fluency and my new pronunciation course for a perfect American accent. Get them both, use them together, Power English and the pronunciation course at effortlessenglishclub.com. effortlessenglishclub.com. The best way to learn English. You know, I accidentally found the answer to this question. It was an accident, honestly. The beginnings of the Effortless English system. It happened by accident, by luck. I was lucky. This week, I went to Korea, South Korea, Seoul, Korea. My wife and I went for just a couple days, just like a day and a half, just a short, quick vacation. And while in Seoul, I remembered my very first English teaching experiences because 20 years ago, I had my first English teaching job in Seoul, Korea. My first teaching job was in Seoul, Korea. I had just finished my first master's degree at the University of Georgia in the United States. I graduated, but I didn't have a job. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to travel. I wanted to see another country. I wanted to live in another country. I have the travel bug, we say. It's kind of slang. If you have the travel bug, it means you're excited about travel, like you're addicted to travel. So I had the travel bug. I wanted to travel. I wanted to live in another country. How to do it? Well, that was the early days of the internet. But luckily, I got online and did a job search for jobs abroad, jobs in other countries. And I found that there were a lot of English teaching jobs in South Korea. Even better, no experience required. That's right, no teaching experience necessary. So I said, perfect. And the payment was quite good for me at that time. And so I applied for a job teaching kids in South Korea. And I got the job. They did a phone interview with me, and I got the job. They paid for my plane ticket, flew me to Seoul, Korea. Now, my first master's degree was not in teaching English. It was in social work. I was focused mostly on things like psychology. And so I had no idea how to teach English. I had no experience, no idea. I had never even thought about it, honestly. I just took the job because I wanted to live in another country. I wanted to travel. I wanted to save money so I could travel even more. That's why I went to Korea to teach English 20 years ago. Now, this overall was not a good experience. My job there was kind of terrible because they made us work a lot of hours. We were teaching a lot of hours in the classroom. They kind of lied to us because they told me that they would train me. They said, they had a training system. So it's okay. You have no experience. Don't worry. We will train you how to teach English. But in fact, they did not have a training system. Instead, on my first day of work, they took me to a classroom. They opened the door. there were, I think, eight or 10. Eight, I think, my first class. There were 8 small little kindergarten children, like 4 or 5 years old, looking at me. Huh? So I thought, oh, they're just introducing me, no problem. So I said, oh, hello, kids. But the kids looked at me. They didn't understand. They had zero English, no English. Then my boss said, okay, this is your class. The class is 4 hours long, 4 days a week, Monday to Thursday. And then she walked out of the room and closed the door. No training at all. So suddenly I was just standing there in front of the class. They knew no English. They were looking at me, waiting for me to do something. And I was thinking, my mind was going very fast. What to do? What do I do? What do I do? They said they would train me. I have no experience. I don't know how to teach English. I don't know how to teach English. And I don't know, for some reason I decided to sing a song. Let's sing a song! So I started trying to teach them how to sing a song. I can't remember the first song. I taught them lots of songs later. But let's say, I remember I taught them Dixie. That's a song from the southern part of America, the south part. So I said, I wish I was from the land of cotton. And they looked at me. They couldn't understand the words, of course. But they liked the music, the song, so they looked at me. So then I just kept repeating, I wish I was, and I point at them. And then finally they would try to copy me. I wish I was. I say, yay, good job, good job. And then little by little, I taught them the whole song. After several days, not on just the first day. So maybe after a couple of weeks, I could teach them one full song. And then I worked to help them improve their pronunciation so they actually would say the words correctly. Now, I had 4 hours a day, 4 hours every day with these guys. So the thing about children get bored quickly. So you can't do the same lesson for 1 hour or 2 hours with children, small children especially. You have to change the activity many, many times, maybe every 20 minutes. So I had to think of lots and lots of things to do. So I played games with them, a lot of games, lots of games. I brought little toy animals, lions and tigers. So I would show them the animal and say the name, tiger, tiger. And then I would play with the animals, tigers, hungry, and I would fighting. And I would use very, very easy English and do actions with the animals and just play with the animals. I told stories, so I found easy children's books in English. Very, very, very easy with pictures, lots of pictures. So I pointed at the pictures and would say the name, monkey, monkey, ball, ball, eating, drinking, running. And I would also read the very easy story to them. Now, quickly I learned that, of course, one time was never enough. Never, right? They cannot learn words from a song or a game or a story after just one time. So I quickly learned that repetition, lots and lots and lots of repetition was necessary. So we sang the same songs again and 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 again. We played the same games again and again and again and again and again and again and again. I told the same stories again and 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 again. Tons of repetition, lots and lots of repetition. But what's great about children like repetition. They love to read the same book, the same story, again and again and again and again and again, right? They have their favorite books, their favorite stories, and they always want to read, read this one again. They like that. They like that repetition. They like playing their favorite games many times. They like singing their favorite songs many, 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 many times. And so little by little, step by step, week by week, we did the same activities. I figured out how to do the same activities. Songs, games, stories, repetition. I also did lots of acting, so using actions, playing games with actions, and I would draw a lot of pictures, all of these things. And here's the cool thing. I started. They could not speak English. They could not understand English. Zero English. Just 3 months later, just 3 months later, they were only speaking English in class. 3 months later, we made a class rule, English only. Just 3 months. Amazing results. Incredible results. Even I was surprised. So, of course, I was a genius teacher, right? I was a genius teacher. I was the very best in the world at that time. No. No. You know, the truth is, the children taught me. They trained me as a teacher. They showed me what worked. I had no idea. I had no experience, no idea. And actually, that's a good thing. So because I had no idea, I was open, right? I just tried lots of things, and the children showed me what worked. They showed me. Now, sometimes I tried something, and the children did not understand. They got bored. They didn't like it. So I quickly decided, oh, that's bad. Not going to do that. But other things like the songs and games and stories and repetition, they worked. The children liked them. I could see they were learning and remembering. So I realized, these are good activities. This works. I was just doing this to survive. I had, with this one class, this one young zero-level class, I had 16 hours every week. So I needed to survive. I just needed to do something, how to fill the time. They taught me. The children taught me how to be a good English teacher. Thank God I did not go to school at that time to be a teacher. Because maybe I would have tried grammar rules and textbooks. I might have been stupid like so many English teachers. They're stupid. School makes them stupid. They go to college, they get a degree, and they're worse teachers. They're stupid teachers. They're bad teachers. Because I was clueless, I had no idea. I was open. That's the good point. In Zen, they call this beginner's mind. I had beginner's mind. I was completely open to anything, like a complete beginner. And that's good. The truth is, I was lucky. Very, very lucky and fortunate that was my very first teaching experience. Because that experience showed me the natural way of language learning. I watched the children learn English from 0 to fluent. Fluent, probably 6 months. 3 months until English only. Probably 3 more months until they were fluent. Not perfect, but fluent. Quite amazing. But they showed me, the children showed me the natural way. They showed me what worked because I had them for a lot of time and because they were so young and fearless. I saw and learned the best natural way to teach English. They taught me. That was my best teacher training. Later, I got a master's degree in teaching English, but honestly, I learned the most useful things from that small kindergarten class. So I was lucky that was my first experience. I got to see the natural best way my very first time. So, very, very fortunate. I'm very happy about that. Let's go to Twitter. Twitter time. I think it's time for some Twitter. My Twitter is ajhoge. That's me. That's my name. So it's twitter.com/, ajhoge. ajhoge. That's my Twitter. You can ask me questions, leave comments, and I will answer them. Twitter.com, ajhoge. Okay, here we got a question. Okay, this is a question from Abhi Gupta. AJ, I listen to a lot of audio files. Good. But I get stuck in the middle sometimes while I talk to someone. What should I do? Stuck in the middle. Okay, I think probably you're talking about like hesitation, like you're talking and then and your brain stops for a minute while you're talking, right? And you're trying to think what to say next. So this is common. It's okay. Relax. You really do need more repetition and maybe possibly more easy English listening. Easier's better for fluency, right? If you want to improve your speaking speed, your fluency, it's actually better to focus on a little bit easier English listening. Get those really simple, common words repeated again and again and again, many, many, many times until they are automatic. When you speak, you can use simple, easy words. In fact, it's usually the best to use simple, easy words. So do that. That's what I recommend. You can also get my pronunciation course at a more advanced level. The pronunciation course will also help your fluency a lot because the pronunciation course is speech training. You will practice speech and especially faster speech in the pronunciation course. So it really gives you double benefit. Another common question, very much. How do I improve my writing? Okay, so I don't teach writing, but I can give you the general idea. For speaking, you need to do a lot of listening. Speaking comes out of listening. Writing comes out of reading. So the best way to improve your writing is to read a lot every day. Read books. Now read easy books, fairly easy books. That's the best way. Reading a lot. That means, you're reading for an hour or more a day. The second thing about writing should be the last skill that you master, that you focus on. If your speaking is still bad, don't worry about writing. You're not ready. Okay, master spoken English first, listening and speaking, fluency and pronunciation. Master that first. Then focus on lots of reading and writing. All right, back to Korea and that first teaching experience. Let me summarize. What did I learn from the children? What did they teach me? The best, most natural way to learn English. Number one, listen first. Listening. Learn with your ears, not with your eyes. So the first thing is the children, for the first few months, they were only listening. They didn't speak much. They sang a song with me sometimes, but really, during our 4 hours a day, they mostly listened to me tell stories, play games. They were pretty quiet in the beginning. And then, suddenly, they started speaking a lot more. It was quite fast. But listen first. Listening is the foundation for speaking. Number two, use stories. Lots and lots and lots of stories. This can be story books. It can be a story with, that you act, like physical actions. It can be a story that you draw. But stories, the children loved stories, and the stories were probably the best way for teaching English. So those little children showed me that stories were fantastic. Games can also be good. And then finally, repetition. The children really showed me the importance of repetition. I didn't realize it before, but with the children, I realized, wow, repetition. I mean, they wanted the repetition. That's the great thing. See, adults will say, oh, I don't want to repeat it again. It's boring. Right? But children are the opposite. They love it. They would ask me every day, they would get the same book. They wanted me to read the same book every day. They wanted to hear the same story every day. They wanted the repetition. Somehow, naturally, they knew that was the best. They liked it. So they showed me the importance of lots of repetition, which I call deep learning. Deep learning. All of these things are also important for you. You need to do them also. So listen first, focus lots on listening. Use stories for learning the best way. And number 3, deep, deep learning. Lots and lots and lots of repetition. All right, back to Korea. So what else did I do in Korea? So I had my memories of Korea, but we also just had a good time. We walked around Seoul. It was very interesting for me to look at Seoul, 20 years later, because I have not been back. So that was the first time I was teaching English 20 years ago, and then I never went to Korea again until this week. So Seoul is a bit different. There are a lot more tall buildings in Seoul now. It's definitely grown, but basically feels the same to me. It's very similar. I'd say the main thing, it's certainly bigger now, more tall buildings. It's more international now. When I lived there 20 years ago, not so much international food there. It was probably 99% Korean food. And now maybe it's 90%. So I noticed a lot more international food. Some Western type chains, tons of coffee shops. That's something very different. 20 years ago, there were almost no coffee shops in Seoul. Now they have a coffee shop every block. There's 1 or 2 coffee shops. There's also a lot of different types of Asian food, Japanese, Vietnamese. So that was interesting. But still, I have to say, the Korean food is fantastic. We enjoyed eating out. That was probably our most enjoyable part of our trip, was just eating really great Korean food. Yummy! Lots of good kimchi. If you don't know what kimchi is fermented, spicy cabbage. Now that sounds kind of yucky to some people. Fermented means they bury it. So they get cabbage leaves and they put it in a pot and then put it in the ground this is the traditional way to make it. Then they put it in the ground with some kind of like bacteria and it ferments. Ferments is kind of like rotting. It means the bacteria starts to eat the cabbage a little bit. But actually that's very, very, very healthy. It's very good for your digestion. Now, they also add a lot of spices, this kind of red chili type spice for kimchi. So it's got a very spicy taste. It's very, very healthy, kimchi. And I love the taste. I learned to enjoy kimchi 20 years ago when I lived in Korea because the Koreans are crazy about kimchi. And I do mean crazy about it. They love it. They eat it with, I think, every meal. I think breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they eat kimchi. Every meal I eat in Korea, they always bring kimchi to the meal. So it's always included. And it's good stuff. The other thing I enjoyed, the other food that I liked a lot was barbecue. People call it Korean barbecue, but it's basically, like a little barbecue at your table. Japanese have this also. And then you cook it right there at your table. It might be beef, which is called bulgogi, or pork. And we went to a couple good restaurants that had the Korean style barbecue. And the good thing about it too, though, because the Korean style, they add again that red chili paste, so that spiciness. That's one of the things I like about Korean food is that spiciness. It's much more spicy than Japanese food. I love Japanese also, but Korean is just more spicy. So anyway, lots and lots and lots of good food. Had a great time with the food as well. If you go to Korea, eat lots of good Korean food. Okay, as I said, go to effortlessenglishclub.com, get my Power English course and my pronunciation course. They are great together. effortlessenglishclub.com. I'm happy to be back. I am happy to be doing more Effortless English shows. I'll be back again tomorrow. See you then. Bye for now.